Shalom. First off, I want to start by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kakadash. As all praises to the world called God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. I also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect preaching His word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabad in the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And right, here's a video of apparently the president of Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is going through an economic collapse. Right, their currency is worth nothing. And not only that, yeah, this whole stuff that they're doing with the farmers and everything like that, just messing up everything. So people are getting more and more hostile to their governments. And the scriptures, touch on certain things like this. Right, so I'm gonna play one more video, and Lord willing, this all be edifying. So here track star. Gone. Gone. That nigga gone, bro. Alright, and I got one other video. And just watching it. So this is the present state of what's going on over there in Sri Lanka. And they do not show anything on this. All that you have is the gunfire. I do not advocate any violence. But this is what's happening throughout these governments. And this is going to be a natural procession of things that are going to happen within these Edomite rulership, right? America, Europe. This is going to be the norm pretty soon. Because what Esau's kingdom is crumbling, man. And the scriptures say that's with violence so that city be thrown down. There's going to be violence that's going to be here prior. Live rounds they're firing at protesters, which it looks like they were just hitting the wall. Actually goes into it, and so they're not actually hitting anybody. But this is how serious it's getting. How serious it's getting, and these people are willing to brave that type of threat of death, right? Because of how hard it's getting. And you go to the book of James. Let's get that. It says, "Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you." Right? The way you've ruled the world, the way you heathen have ruled the world, starting with Esau, Edom, and you other nations that drink of the wine of the wrath of the fornication, that was willing to go into that system with this devil. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them, the weakness of this currency, all this corrosion and the devaluing of everything is starting to be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped riches together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, cried, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered in the ears of Yahweh of Sabaoth. So these people that have done all this labor, and yet their money's worth nothing. Now the Lord is starting to hear their cries, man. The Lord's hearing the prophets, firstly, right? And he's seeing the natural effect that's happening upon all the world, and the Lord is rising the people up. Scriptures tell you every hand of the wicked. This is I guess in Job. Yeah, here it is, Job 20. And I'm going to get this in the blue, that matter of fact. Job 20 and 22. And it says, It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, which we're basically in the fullness of Esau's sufficiency right now. What he's starting to close down these governments, change up the monetary system. He's talking more and more about a new world order. He's talking more and more about program about CBDCs, uh central bank digital currencies, right? Which is programmable payments. They're talking more and more about social credit scores and everything like that, and blockchain technology, which all goes into the market of beast. That's the end goal for Esau, is to push the market of beast, which is the MOTB, the RFID microchip. They're going to try to implant in every person. That's the end game. So now Esau's talking more and more about these things. We're coming to the fullness of his sufficiency. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And then when it's talking about every hand of the wicked, it's actually talking about the laborers, the everyday person, right? It says, when you go into it, it says, Amalah, so Amal, and it says, laborer, sufferer, wretched one, laborer, workman, right? So every hand of the wicked, the brass tacks, everyday person, is going to come upon him, and that's what you're seeing. This is why you have the president of Sri Lanka running out of the country. That's why you have them firing live rounds at protesters in Sri Lanka, and it's going to grow into America, man. There's been reports coming out where more and more Americans think that rising up against the government is the option. Here it is. Now, this is an old article, but there's a new one. Here it is. Yeah, these are old. Division Ukraine. There was a newer version of this article that came out, and you know this has only increased because in January you still had cheap gas. Right now, more and more people are struggling. So this number has actually jumped. There's newer articles on this, but it says 1 in 3 Americans say violence against government can be justified, citing fears of political schemes, pandemic, right? And not only that, they're talking about violent uprisings against the government. So what? America's going to be no exception in this rule as far as what? People rising against the government. That goes back in the second Ezra's, sedition among men. And when everything that you own is worth nothing anymore, and you can't eat, your family's struggling, this is going to give people more and more incentives to do these things. This is second Ezra's 15 and 16. Says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, meaning they're going to sit here and do whatever they feel is right. Revolting. You can't get away from this, and now you're seeing that this is how stupid going to do it. And you look at a place like Sri Lanka, you think, oh no, this is because those people don't have democracy. They have a democracy in Sri Lanka. But what? We're in a time now where uproars of the people are going to increase. It says Matthew 24. In 6, it says, you shall have wars and rumors of wars, see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are beginning of sorrows. We're in the beginning of sorrows right now. You get that uproars. Second Ezra 9 and 2 says, then shall they understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So we're in that time now. The uproars of the people are going to increase, especially when more and more economic collapse happens. Right? Your Bitcoin millionaires, they're going to be right in the crowd with you. Right? Because that thing's crashing. It's going to be gone. Why do they need Bitcoin when they're going to be the ones that are going to own all the money? That's out the door. If you don't have the Lord now, you're through. Right? The Lord willing, this is edifying him and say, call law Yahweh by Shimei Shai, by Shimmer Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to a hopeful lake. Shalom.